The story begins with the McAllister family preparing to spend Christmas in Paris, gathering at Peter and Kate's home in a Chicago suburb the night before their departure. Peter and Kate's youngest son, Kevin, is the target of ridicule by his older siblings. And during family dinner, Kevin's older brother Buzz starts stealing Kevin's food. In retaliation, Kevin attacks him, causing chaos and ruining the family dinner, along with their flight tickets to Paris. Kevin tries to defend his actions, claiming that Buzz started it first. Suddenly, his entire family begins staring at him angrily. As a result, Kevin is sent to the attic as punishment. In his frustration, Kevin angrily curses at his mother, wishing that his family would disappear. The family includes Kevin's older sister Linny, his older brother Jeff, his oldest sister Megan, Uncle Frank, Peter's rude older brother, and many other relatives. During the night, strong winds damage the power line, causing a power outage and resetting the alarm clocks, which makes the family oversleep. In the chaos and rush to get to the airport, the entire family forgets about Kevin. Kevin's oldest cousin Heather starts counting all the children and mistakenly identifies a neighbor's kid as Kevin. The total number of kids seems correct, and the family finally locks up the house, preparing to leave for the airport. Meanwhile, the neighbor kid, mistaken for Kevin, says goodbye to everyone and leaves. Yet no one realizes that Kevin is missing. When the family loads up into two separate vans, Kate asks Heather if she counted the children. Heather replies that there are 11, including herself. With that, the family quickly arrives at the airport, thinking they've missed their flight. However, the woman at the counter informs them that they've just made it. The family boards the plane and takes their seats, and the plane takes off. Meanwhile, Kevin wakes up and wonders why it's so quiet. He walks to the kitchen and turns the TV on. As he enjoys his cartoon, he feels that something strange is happening. Kevin starts calling for his mother and then searches the entire house, even checking the basement. Realizing that no one is home, Kevin thinks his wish came true, that he made his family disappear. Overjoyed by his newfound freedom, he begins doing all the things he usually can't, like sneaking into his older brother's secret stash, watching R-rated movies. Meanwhile, on the plane, Kate suddenly has a feeling that she's forgotten something. Peter reassures her that everything is taken care of. Suddenly, she remembers that she left Kevin on the attic. She quickly falls into shock, while the others try to calm her down. Meanwhile, Kevin is living his best life, enjoying his freedom. A few hours later, the McAllister family arrives at the airport in Paris and rushes to the phones. In a panic, Kate grabs a random woman's phone and desperately tries to call Kevin. Back in their neighborhood, two thieves, Marv and Harry, are watching the houses, convinced that everyone is away on vacation and the houses are empty. They park their van right outside Kevin's house and attempt to break into the basement. Kevin spots their shadows through the window and quickly rushes to turn on all the lights, hoping to make it look like someone is home. It works. When thieves see the lights, they quickly flee. While Kevin hides under the bed, he decides he no longer wants to be a coward. He's the man of the house now. With newfound determination, he quickly rushes out of the house and shouts that he's not afraid anymore. However, his confidence quickly fades when he's startled by his next-door neighbor, Old Man Marley. Rumored to be a serial killer who murdered his own family in 1958, Marley sends Kevin running back inside in fear and quickly hides behind some bed sheets. Meanwhile, in Paris, Kate calls the police and explains the situation. They quickly dispatch an officer to the house, but Kevin mistakes the officer for one of the thieves and hides again. The police, believing no one is home, leave without investigating further, while the family discovers that all flights for the next 2 days are booked. As the McAllisters begin to panic, a woman working at the airport tells them that they could wait at the airport, as there's a possibility a seat might open up. So, they decide that Kate will stay behind and wait, while Peter takes the rest of the family to his brother's apartment. Back at Kevin's house, he showers, takes care of his hair, and applies aftershave, a decision he quickly regrets. Once he's finished getting ready, he notices a box on top of a shelf in his brother's room. He tries to reach it, but the shelf collapses and he falls. He quickly gets up and takes some cash from the box, unaware that in the process, he has released his brother's tarantula. Wanting to spend some of his recent earnings, Kevin heads to the market to buy a toothbrush. However, when he spots his scary neighbor with a bloody hand, he gets scared and quickly runs out of the store. The store worker follows him and quickly alerts the police, claiming Kevin has stolen a toothbrush. The officer immediately begins to pursue Kevin. Thinking quickly, Kevin heads to the ice skating rink. The officer slips and falls, while Kevin glides smoothly on the ice, successfully escaping. Somewhere else, Marv and Harry are robbing a house and loading the goods into their van. As they flee the scene, they start arguing like a married couple and almost hit Kevin with their car. On his way home, Kevin notices the thieves following him. He rushes towards the church, and the thieves think that he went inside, so they leave. But Kevin was actually posing as one of the figures outside. Later that night, the thieves return and see that Kevin's house appears to be full of people. They're certain the McAllister family is on vacation, but it turns out that Kevin has been moving mannequins around the house to create the illusion of activity. Seeing this, the thieves quickly run away, and Kevin makes sure he's outsmarted them once again. Back at the airport, Kate desperately begs people to sell her their tickets. She offers a woman $500, her Rolex, a ring, and first-class tickets for a flight on Friday. The woman agrees, and Kate manages to catch the soonest available flight back to the United States, but only gets as far as Scranton, Pennsylvania. Kate is stunned to hear that all flights to Chicago are booked. She explains her situation to the man working at the airport, but the only thing he can do is find her a hotel. Suddenly, a man interrupts and pulls Kate to the side. He introduces himself as Gus Polinski, along with the rest of his musical band. He has heard about the problem and offers her a ride with them, as they are also headed to Chicago, and she happily accepts. Back to Kevin. He shops for his necessities, and then takes a walk back home. While Kevin washes the dishes, the robbers return and try to enter the house. Kevin quickly plays a movie, and Marv thinks someone is inside. When the movie characters start shooting, Kevin lights firecrackers, and Marv quickly runs away, thinking it's real. He explains to Harry what he heard, but Harry doesn't believe him. He's sure Kevin is alone, so they wait a couple of hours. Finally, Kevin leaves the house to get the Christmas tree. While Kevin is decorating, Harry observes him through a small window and confirms to Marv that Kevin is alone. Harry tells him they should come back tonight, but Marv thinks it's not a good idea to rob with a kid inside. Kevin overhears everything through his window and hears them agree to come back tonight at 9 o'clock. With nothing much to worry about, Kevin heads to see Santa, hoping to get a word with him. But a woman informs him that Santa is getting into his car and that he can still catch him. Kevin quickly runs to Santa, who is cursing about getting a parking ticket and tossing a cigarette when Kevin approaches. Kevin tells him that he doesn't want presents this year. Instead, he wishes for his family to come back. Santa replies, "Okay, I'll see what I can do," just before getting into his sleigh pulled by his reindeers. As Kevin walks back home, he stops by a random house and observes a happy family celebrating the holidays together. Feeling sad and lonely, Kevin heads to church and sits down to listen to the church choir. The scary neighbor appears next to him, wishes him happy holidays, and mentions that he's there to see his granddaughter sing. As they talk, Kevin realizes that the scary neighbor isn't so scary after all. They discuss family complications, and the old man offers Kevin some wise advice. Motivated by his conversation with the old neighbor, Kevin rushes home, determined to protect it. He creates an entire plan for his traps. He places toys on the floor, water on the stairs, hot metal on the door handle, and nails scattered on the ground. He even makes an escape plan. Later, while Kevin is having dinner, the burglars approach the house. Hearing them, Kevin hides behind the door with an air rifle. As burglars try to come in, Kevin puts his rifle through the pet door and shoots Harry in the leg. Wondering what happened, Marv pushes his head through the pet door, where Kevin awaits him and shoots him in the forehead. Hurt and desperate, the burglars try to find another way to enter the house. Harry goes to the back door but slips on the ice previously made by Kevin pouring water, while Marv tries the basement door, but has even worse luck than Harry. He barely manages to get up and breaks inside with his crowbar. As he wanders the basement, he wants to turn on the lights, but it turns out it's a rope that is connected to the clothes iron that falls directly on his head. In the meantime, Harry manages to get to the back door, but when he grabs the heated handle, he badly burns his hand and rushes to put it in the snow to cool off. While Marv lost both his shoes and socks trying to exit the basement, on the stairs Kevin had placed glue beforehand. Not paying attention to his steps, Marv steps on a nail, causing him to fall backward and scream. Determined to get inside, Harry returns to the front door and cautiously touches the handle. Seeing that it's safe, he opens the door and steps inside, but unknowingly triggers another trap, causing a flamethrower to scorch his head. Panicking, he quickly douses his head in the snow to put out the flames. At the same time, Marv grabs a crowbar and retraces his steps to exit the house, hoping to find another way in. Meanwhile, Harry, noticing the extent of his injuries, charges at the door and successfully forces his way inside. He hears Kevin in one of the rooms and swiftly makes his way toward him. But he triggers another trap when a foil covered in glue sticks to his face, and a fan shoots feathers at him. On the other side, Marv enters the house through a window but steps on a glass decoration. Barely able to walk, he encounters Harry, who asks why he looks like that. Marv wonders why Harry is dressed like a chicken. Suddenly, Kevin yells for the thieves to come and get him. As they rush toward him, they slip on toy cars. They quickly get up and continue after him. But Kevin is ready with full paint cans, knocking them both down. Kevin retreats to his parents' room and calls the police, reporting a robbery. He tries to flee, but Marv jumps and grabs his leg. Thinking fast, Kevin notices his brother's tarantula and grabs it, placing it on Marv's face. Marv immediately releases Kevin and starts screaming. He trows the spider on Harry. He tries to kill the spider with a crowbar, but only injures Harry even more. At the same time, Kevin uses a zipline to reach his treehouse. Unwilling to give up, the duo grabs the rope and attempts to follow Kevin. Just as they reach the middle, Kevin cuts the rope, sending them both crashing into the wall. Kevin quickly climbs down and rushes to the neighbor's house, which the thieves had robbed earlier. He enters the basement and tries to get inside, but when he opens the door, he's met by Marv and Harry. The duo hangs him up like a piece of clothing, debating what to do with him. Luckily, Old Man Marley shows up and knocks both burglars out cold. He takes Kevin to safety just as the police arrive, successfully arresting the burglars. As the officers take them away, Kevin smiles and waves at them. The next morning, he wakes up to find it snowing outside. He gets excited and starts calling for his mother, but soon remembers he's all alone. Sitting down, he looks at his family's photo. Suddenly, Kate enters the house and starts calling for him. Kevin quickly rushes downstairs and embraces his mother. Minutes later, the entire family arrives, and Peter is relieved to see that Kevin is unharmed. Even his brother Buzz congratulates him for not burning the house down. Later, as Kevin looks out the window, he sees Old Man Marley happily enjoying time with his own family. But the emotional moment is interrupted when Buzz screams, "Kevin, what did you do to my room?" And that's where the film ends. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video. Thanks for watching.